Hello students and family members, it's Mr. Panza. Once again, we've been attacking this question, how to tell times in two different ways, the regular way, reading a digital or a regular clock the regular way, and the smart way. I taught you some strategies in recognizing where the minute hand or the bigger hand was and the hour hand was, and determining whether it is before or after. So one of the first things you should do is draw a line directly down the middle of your clock and think, well, on this side of the clock it's always after the hour, and on this side of the clock it's always before, of, or until the next hour. So in this case, if my hour hand is pointing towards the 3 and my minute hand is also pointing towards the 3, then it's 3:15, or I'd say 15 minutes after 3. However, if I flip this the opposite way, and now I have it pointing this way, and it's actually a little bit further up the clock. Let's say it was 10 minutes, because 5 minutes, 10 minutes before the next hour, and let's say that it wasn't quite 3 o'clock yet. The hour hand would be close to, but not on the 3. I recognize first my minute hand is pointing on the BOT side, the bot side, so that would let me know that it is 5, then 10 minutes before the next hour, which is 3 o'clock. And using this strategy to recognize that on this side it's after an hour and on this side it's before the next hour, you can use these strategies to help you answer the following questions. In the example, you can see 5:13 on a digital clock will be read as the smart way as 13 minutes, which is written right there on the digital clock, after the hour that is listed. The nice thing about the after side of the clock, as you can see I drew it on my worksheet here, is that the entire answer is there for you. Just like in letter A, 12 minutes after the hour of 4 o'clock is my first answer. So you just write down 12 minutes after 4. Once again, all of the answers for the after hours are right there. 5 minutes, the minute hand would be on the after side at the 1, which would be 5 minutes after the hour, which is written 6 o'clock. So I would write that as 5 minutes after 6. The same exact thing for every single one on this page. Let me do a few more. Let me skip down a few. In this one, we are 9 minutes. I look at the minute hand first, which again would be pointing towards this side of the clock, which is after, so 9 minutes after, and because it's on the after side, I'm still talking about the current hour that it is, 9 minutes after 9. Same thing can be said for 17 minutes, even though it's getting further down. It's 17 minutes after the current hour. We don't switch to before the next hour, before 1 o'clock, until we hit 31 minutes and beyond, or for 29 minutes until the next hour or beyond. Even though 22 minutes is getting closer to that halfway mark, it's still not, so still simple for us, 22 minutes after the hour of 12, the current hour that would be listed on your clock. So the A side of this worksheet, recognize that yes, every single one is going to deal with after the current hour that is listed. And that's what's nice about the after side. Every single one is listed for you, and the numbers that are on the digital clock are the ones that you use in your answers. On the opposite side, however, we're talking about before the next hour. So for example, in 5:50, we don't say 50 minutes after 5. That's not the smart way. Instead, you've got to think, well, my minute hand is pointing at the 11, which technically is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes until the next hour, which in this case, it's not 5 because we're moving away from 5 o'clock once we move past the 6, once we move past the halfway marker. And in this case, we're sitting at the 11, so we're 5 minutes closer to the next hour. And if I had an accurate hour hand here, that would be pointing close to, but not quite at the 6. That's what's nice about clocks. They are built so that they're actually moving towards the hour that they're moving towards and away from. So in this case, you could just look at a clock and say, oh, it's closer to 6. It's 5 minutes till 6. And that's why 5:50 is read as 10 minutes, not 5, until 6 o'clock. I guess the reason I was thinking 5 is because in letter A, we look at that specific example. In letter A, my minute hand is pointing at the 11 because it's 5 minutes before the next hour, 5 minutes until the next hour, 5 minutes of the next hour. And just like I was showing you as the clock drawing here, we would be moving towards this 7. My hour hand over here now would actually be closer to the 7 and almost touching the 7 if I were looking at a clock. And that's why it would be close to that 7 or 5 minutes until 7. The same can be said for 2:59. I would never say 59 minutes after 2 o'clock because we're moving closer towards the next hour of 3 o'clock. And how many minutes do we have until we get to that top of the hour? Just 1, because there's 60 minutes in an hour. So if we're at 59 minutes, it will take 1 more minute to get to 3 o'clock. In other words, we list it as 1 minute till 3. Same thing with the 20-minute marker. We're 20 minutes until the next hour. Not 20 minutes till 7. We're 40 minutes after 7. And since we've crossed over that side of the clock, our mind needs to cross over that way too. We're 20 minutes until the next hour of 8 o'clock. One of the more difficult ones, for me anyway, is the 35-minute marker. That's right here at the 7 because it's the closest to the midway mark. And when your minute hand is pointing at that 35, some students think, oh, I can just say it's 35 minutes after the hour of 12. Well, not so in this case, because really what you need to think of is, 35 is how many minutes towards the next hour of 1 o'clock. 45, 55 is 20 minutes, plus 5 more minutes is 25 minutes towards the next hour. 25 minutes towards, in this case, what would I say? 1 o'clock. Because now my ticker, my hour ticker, is moving towards the 1 o'clock hour. 25 minutes towards 1. So I want you to be able to visualize and really recognize this clock and understand that I split the clock, yes, into quarters, but more importantly, I split it into halves. And on this half of the clock, I'm always dealing with after the hour, and on this half of the clock, it's always before, of, or till the next hour. This side is easier because you're just adding up 5, 10, quarter, 20, 25, half past. On this side, you're 5 until, 10 until, quarter till, 20 till, 25 till, and then 30 minutes till. Recognize this drawing and it will help you as you move forward with time. Thanks. Hope this helps.